Hello everybody, NSO here, back at it again to give you another very exciting video. And for today, honestly, I don't know, but this has been, I've been having this running thought in the back of my mind for quite some time. I mean, here lately, yesterday, we did get the inclusion that Mario Golf is now added to the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack tier, and it's going to be nice for at least us people that have the expansion packs to be able to go through and play through Mario Golf if that's been a game that you've been looking for and anticipating though. But if you think back way back to last year, 2021 September, when that fall direct dropped, whenever they announced the whole expansion pack thing being a tier, we had like a roadmap, but it wasn't like a specific one. It didn't give us like dates and times or everything like that though. But they literally showed like a whole banner list, and they just floated from left to right, showing us all the games that we were expected to get. And we're almost at the point where we're almost out of those games. All we have left is Kirby 64 and the Crystal Shards, as well as the original Pokemon Snap. So I was like, huh, so, we're kind of getting down to the end of games that that we can expect. And that kind of brings up the question, what's up with the NSO and what we could be potentially expecting in the futures with the obvious with the obvious competition between the PlayStation. They're now rebranding their whole entire PlayStation Plus, doing like an extra and essentials tier and stuff like that. And even with Microsoft with their Game Pass side being able to include family accounts, from what we've been hearing, that might become a thing here fairly soon. It kind of makes us wonder, how is Nintendo going to kind of keep up to the level of competition as them, and where they're going to try to move this NSO service moving forward though, and especially in terms of the N64 games. What games could we potentially get next? So in this video, I was just going to go through, talk about what other games we could possibly pull from the list from Nintendo's side of things with the first party games, and a few third party games, and see exactly what games could we expect to see on the horizon. Or could there be a moment where we're gonna hit a little hiccup and hit a bump in the road, and we might have to start looking at another console though? So that's what I'm gonna be talking about primarily in this video though. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump straight up into this video. Alright, so looking at some first party games here real quick. First few things I had up on my list is Mario Party 1, 2, and 3. Now, obviously, I wouldn't expect Nintendo to drop all of these Mario Party games out, because at least from the way how they've been sort of kind of dropping the games out so far right now, they've been dropping the game out, an N64 game out every single month. So I don't expect them to come out in the month of July and say, July, Mario Party 1, August, Mario Party 2, and so forth with Mario Party 3. I don't expect them to do like that. I think they're going to pace these ones out by like at least every 3, or I'm going to say maybe 4 months. So that way you get 3 games out throughout the course of a year or something like that though. But yeah, I find it likely they'll probably do that. And some of y'all might be thinking, well, what about Mario Party Superstars? I mean, a lot of those mini games are in that. Technically, you're right, but not necessarily all the board games are. Unless for some reason Nintendo decides to, decides to say, no, I don't like the way how this video is going, and they decide to give us like DLC update for Mario Party Superstars, pulling more board games from Mario Parties 1 through 3 and putting them on their Superstars. If they do that, then that kind of makes this little part where I'm talking about obsolete, because good and well Nintendo's probably not going to drop out those first 3 Mario Party games on the service if that be the case. But if not, then I'm fully expecting that they might go ahead and put these ones up on there though, because I do like that story mode in Mario Party 3 quite a bit though. I mean, Waluigi was hitting in that game. He was just hitting though. But yeah, so those are 3 games I expect to possibly land on the NSO service within the next year. Looking forward to it. Then there's Smash 64. Now with Smash 64, same thing like Mario Party. You might be like, well, there's already Smash Bros. Ultimate. That's the most ultimate game out there. Well, I kind of like we all like legacy content and things of that nature, though. And we kind of respect the retro gaming market quite a bit. If you're someone older like me that kind of likes going through and playing through old games every now and then, though. So yeah, so I would love to see them actually bring over Smash 64, because I feel like it controls completely different compared to a lot of different other Smash Brother games out there. And I think because of it controlling a little bit different, it's just going to be nice to kind of have access to that. Plus, when you're playing online with people, I will kick everybody's mama. I'll kick everybody's mama. I'll kick everybody's father, and I'll kick everybody's brother and sister online. And especially for all my friends out there, Sonic, Mario, all y'all. No. I'm gonna whip all y'all butts on Smash 64. Like that. Like I grew up with that system. I grew up with it. Ain't no, my boy Captain Falcon over there, man, he'll Falcon punch y'all all the way halfway across the stage, man. Who? Okay, that's enough with Smash 64 though. But I really do want that game here on the service though. Next up, we got Donkey Kong 64. Now, this one's a really unique one because back in the day, it did require the expansion pack. I know I don't think this game has necessarily aged that well, though, but it is a game I actually really want to see them bring over because I personally hadn't played through it. I know quite a few people have, and I know everybody in their mom probably seen that DK rap thing. Like shoot, like, man, that DK rap goes hard. Like, hit it, Donkey Kong.
Here we go. Performance for you. If you know the words, you can join in too. Put your hands together if you wanna clap. As we take you through this monkey rap.
Man, that coconut gum though, man, that must be firing though. But anyway though, so honestly it'll be really nice to see that, especially since the fact that they included rare games such as like Banjo in the mist. I mean, it ain't out of the realm of possibility that we could be getting other rare games as well, especially ones with Nintendo franchises up in it like Donkey Kong 64. So that's something that I really want to see. And kind of rolling on with the whole rare thing too, Diddy Kong Racing. That one, I hadn't went through and played through that one at all either, but that one was made by Rare, and we already got another Rare game, so I think there's a decent chance that we might be able, because the fact that we did get BanjoKazooie on the Switch expansion pack here makes it seem like we might be able to work with Microsoft just enough to be able to get some of these other titles to the NSO expansion pack. So I think that's another one that has a decent chance at showing up here as well though. But another one I have on my list is BanjoTooie. Since we have BanjoKazooie, why not BanjoTooie? I think some people have said that they kind of prefer the original one over Tooie. There's some kind of weird term I think associated with it or something like that, with the movement of that game or something like that though. But outside of that, if you got one on there, I don't think it's gonna be pulling on the strings too hard for Microsoft to be able to get the second one on there as well though. So I'm kind of hoping that we do get that one up on there though. Alright, so next up on my list, I had Goldeneye 007. Now, I know that's been kind of the talk of the town here lately, because I think way back in, I think it was roughly around January. I reported on this in one of my Zarcast episodes around that time frame, though. But there's been some talks in the rumor mill department that we could be getting 007 back, Goldeneye, from the N64, possibly on the Nintendo Switch online service. It might also come to Xbox as well, like they might throw that game up on Game Pass or whatever though, like the remaster one that was technically already created, but it didn't go through all of its licensing and stuff with Nintendo and all of that kind of stuff, so it never got to officially see the light of day out there, but it's technically out there if you kind of want to see it though. But there is word on the street that we might possibly be getting that, so it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility we could also get that here on the service. Now that will be a big flagship one. I'm pretty sure whenever they want to reveal that one, in terms of when they want to drop it, it could be roughly around E3, or it could be right around September-ish when you want to have people renew their subscription services for a whole nother year, because there's no way to partially order the expansion pack tier with just like a 1 month or a 3 month thing. You got to do it for a whole entire year. That would be a good incentive for people to go ahead and sign up for it again, and then be able to kind of stick with the service a little bit further, so a little bit longer. So E3 or September, if they're going to drop this game out, it's going to be one of those two times. I can almost bet you that. I'm pretty sure that would most likely happen though. All right, so next up on my list, I have Waveride 64. I am surprisingly shocked the fact that we did not get this originally within the original batch of N64 games when the service for the expansion pack tier dropped, because this was actually one of the first few launch games for the Nintendo 64 way back in 1996. And yes, it doesn't quite support all the way up to 4 players. It does support up to 2 players though. But I just enjoyed the crap out of that game originally. Just growing up as a kid playing through it. The water physics was something else for it to be back in the day. Even improved a little bit more with the wave race on the GameCube side of things though. But I think, man, I think that one's a shoo-in. Because, I mean, for it to be a launch title back then, you would think Nintendo's starting to kind of nitpick and cherry pick to figure out what other first party games, because it seems like most of the focuses for their games they've been dropping out on the expansion pack has been primarily first party with a few third parties. So you have to go in there and put Wave Race. Like it ain't a given. You have to put that up on there though. Now these next couple of games are kind of iffy, but based upon the game that we're going to get within the next couple of months, kind of makes it still possible, and that's being Pokemon Stadium 1 and Pokemon Stadium 2, because we are supposed to get Pokemon Snap either for the month of May or month of June, as long as we stay on track with the usual release date timing though. So they're giving us original Pokemon Snap, even though there's already a new Pokemon Snap on the Switch right now. I was like, okay, you know what? We have a decent chance to be able to get Pokemon Stadium 1 as well as Pokemon Stadium 2 up on the list though. So I think that's not out of the realm of possibility. So we'll go ahead and add that to the list right there though. And now the very last one I think that has a decent shot of actually happening is Excitebike 64. Now I went through and actually looked through some of this little bit of footage that y'all may be seeing on the screen right now though. But Excitebike 64, that game kind of looks a little bit rough, but at the same time I was getting down to the bottom of the barrel in terms of like what other first party games are on an N64 that we can actually still pull from. And I think it's literally like one of the last few, excluding the ones that we already have gotten out on the service right now though. So I was like, okay, I think they can somewhat manage to make this be able to pass, just for the sake of, hey, this is where Excitebike, you know, where it kind of went from your old NES to how it went to the N64 in the 3D environment. And I don't think there has been any more like a pseudo 3D-ish Excitebike. May have been one, but I'm not thinking of anything off the top of my head at the moment right now though. But it'll be interesting to see them put this one up on here, and whenever we do see them put this game out on there, I think their selection is gonna be very low, because they're almost scraping at the very bottom of the barrel, because everything else I mentioned above this, I mean, it has some good level of quality polish and some stuff that people will, you have their certain little cults out there that will go ahead and talk and hold these games up, live or die by them. But by the time you get to Excitebike 64, I mean, like, what else is there? Now, there are a couple other games I would like to see on the service, but because they're mature rated, I don't honestly see them happening. One of them being is Perfect Dark, which honestly, if we get Goldeneye, I don't really see like a big need to put Perfect Dark out there, because most people kind of prefer Goldeneye, in contrast to Perfect Dark, but it would be nice to see it regardless. And then the other one being Conker's Bad Fur Day. I actually see one of my friends play through that game on Discord one time before, and I was like, man, the dumb stuff they have up in that game makes it absolutely hilarious. I understand why it's a mature rated game though, but my gosh, the stuff they pull up in that game is absolutely funny though. But I think you can play it on Rare Replay on the Xbox if you have access to that though. But it would be nice to see it on there, but because it's mature rated, I honestly don't think it's going to be able to make it, because otherwise they have to kind of restructure the Switch Online expansion pack, because they just want to be able to actually be able to monitor it, because most of the games on there are like rated E or kind of close to teen, but anything that you do above that to where you get to M rated, I feel like they have to restructure that though. But honestly, outside of that, that's pretty much it in terms of all the list of games that I had out here, at least on my list. So with everything I had up on my list, that's about 13 games. 15 if you include Perfect Dark and Conker's Bad Fur Day, which I don't think is going to honestly be able to make it on the expansion pack tier list. So with 13 more games, that could literally last us from July, so shortly after E3 of this year, to basically the next E3 in 2023. So that can last us for a whole nother year. But the real question is, once they get to 2023 in summer, honestly, there's really nothing else. I was looking through this list because with the N64, you had a bunch of other games, but a lot of stuff was either licensed games where Nintendo had to kind of go out of their way of doing it, or unless they managed to pull some other rare games though. But I feel like pulling from Microsoft just to get Banjo, maybe BanjoKazooie, and maybe Donkey Kong 64 and Diddy Kong Racing, that might be the most extent that Microsoft might give to us. And outside of that, there might be a couple other things maybe that I'm just not thinking of, but not too many more. And then you kind of go into like just a bunch of this smaller little third-party-ish kind of things. Maybe you might get a Mega Man, maybe you might get a Bomberman. But I mean, outside of that, I honestly don't see that much, unless they're getting some weird stuff like Castlevania 64 or something like that though. So honestly, that's when, that's where we're gonna start running into an issue though. So I think most people are kind of worried about what other games we're going to get beyond these, this summer after E3. I think we're okay for a whole nother year after this. It's 2020, mid 2023 and beyond. that's where you probably want to start getting worried, because I came up with a list where we can last for a whole nother year. But outside of that, shoot, I honestly have no idea which way Nintendo wants to go about this though. So that's where, you know, a lot of head scratching is going to come into play though. But that's pretty much it in terms of my thoughts on the NSO. I feel like they're here soon, definitely within the next year, there's going to have to be an inclusion of another system. There's just no way how you're going to have to beat around the bush, because it's nice that the fact that they're adding more stuff. Like you have the Animal Crossing DLC, you have the new Mario Kart DLC, which that's going to be holding up to the end of 2023. And then I think they might put some more stuff up in there, like Splatoon 3. I'm pretty sure there's DLC for that game. They're going to probably put it up in there though. So there's some stuff that Nintendo can still keep adding into the pipeline for this though. But they still gonna have to be pretty active on this stuff, because the N64 is only gonna last for like maybe another year, and then who knows at that point, then it's gonna start turning into like an NES or SNES situation where you get some raggedy taggedy NES and SNES games. I will give Nintendo some credit where credit is due. We lately got an Earthworm Jim game, as well as I believe it was Dig Dug 2 for the NES, SNES, and I think one other game though. So that wasn't that bad. Earthbound, we finally got that in Earthbound Beginnings. But before the Earthbound stuff, whew, it was rough. Like, oh shoot, don't even get me started on that though. But yeah, so overall, Nintendo, you're doing good so far. As long as we get those games I just listed out here in this video, we should be fine for another year. But you're going to have to come up with something after that, because I can already tell the signs on the wall. N64 has some good games, but they don't have like a crap ton compared to the GameCube or anything like that. I mean, it's just only a matter of time though. So that's basically going to do it in terms of this video right here though. But y'all got to let me know down in the comment section down below. What do you think about this whole entire NSO thing? What kind of N64 games do you personally want to see on here? Like, if I had mentioned something that you were thinking of, but it was on your list but not my list, let me know in the comment section down below. I'm kind of curious to see what y'all might be possibly thinking about, or just any other kind of ideas that Nintendo could honestly be doing with their NSO service, especially for the expansion pack tier, since we're paying like an extra 50 or not an extra 50 or an extra 30 on top of the 20 that we normally would have done for the basic tier if you did a single pack membership tier though. But just let me know about that in the comment section down below. But that's going to do it for this video though. So if you really like this video, make sure to go ahead and hit that like button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that bell to stay up to date on all things video game related I feel like talking about and discussing for the foreseeable future though. So remember y'all, until whatever video I make next, see y'all.